Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Can you give me co-host access, please?
Yes, Guruji, I'm doing it.
नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुमीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सकगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवा सारि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादि राधिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्ण। By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita. So we have successfully finished 33 slokas in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. So now Krishna is teaching us about ourselves, the soul. So we studied about the Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Jnaya, Prakriti, Purusha. So now Purusha we are studying. In fact, the Prakriti we are going to study at length in the next chapter. So the chapter 14th chapter is just Prakriti, the three modes of material nature. Whenever we mean Krishna means Prakriti here, most of the time Krishna means the three modes of material nature. So everything is Prakriti, also Vinna Prakriti, this earth, water, fire, air, space, all such things, they are also Prakriti. But these three modes of material nature, that is Ahankara, which is coming because we have Ahankara, because all the activities are carried out, created and carried out. That's what is very important. All the activities are created and carried out by the three modes of material nature. And we falsely think that we are actually creating and doing it. So created and done by the three modes of material nature, and we think that we are creating and doing it. So that is why we falsely think. So that is why it is called as false ego. Srila Prabhupada translated ahankara as false ego, because we falsely think that we are doing it, whereas in reality everything is done by the three modes of material nature. We are not doing anything. Na kartrutvam. We are not doer. We are not the doer. That's what na kartrutvam. Na kartrutvam. Na karmani lokasya srajati. So we are not creating any work. Na kartrutvam means we are not doing any work. And we are also not creating any work. Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srajati prabhu. Na karma pala samyogam. So we are also not creating the results of the activities. So the three things: the creation of the activity, and the performance of the activity, and the results of the activity. These are all the three things. So any action to happen, first of all, there should be a reason. There should be that activity should be created. There should be a reason for doing that. So that creation, the activity itself is created. So then that activity should be performed. So then, based on the performance of those activity, so the results will come. So Krishna is saying here, we are not the creator, we are not the performer, and we are also not the cause for the results. So that's why na kartrutvam, na karmani lokasya srajati prabhu, na karma pala samyogam swabhavastu pravartate. How nicely Krishna is explaining. How many na Krishna has used? 3 times. Na. So na kartrutvam. So that means we are not doing it. Na karmani srajati. So we are not creating. And then we are also not the cause for the results of the activities. Na karma pala samyoga. So everything is done by swabhava. Swabhavastu pravartate. Swabhava, where from that swabhava is coming? That swabhava is coming from the gunas, from the 3 modes of material nature, gunas. Swabhava, prabhavai, gunaihi. The gunas are created from the nature, prakriti. Gunaha, prakriti sambhavaga, swabhava, prabhavai gunaihi, and this swabhava is doing all the activities. So we are not doing anything. We are simply suffering or enjoying in this material world because we are attached to the results. When we are not the doer, when we are not creating the work, we are not doing the work and we are not creating the results. So simply because we are attached to the results, we are struggling, we are suffering. So that's what is happening with us. We are enjoying or suffering in this material world because we are actually attached to the results. So that is the problem. So that way Krishna is teaching us in this Bhagavad Gita, never get yourselves attached to the results. And also never get yourselves attached to not doing your duty. Because we are forced to work, we are forced to act, so that is fact, that is the truth, we understand. But if we try to stop that force, we know that something is forcing us to work. So baladiva niyojitaga, we are forced to work. So karyategi avassaha karma, sarvaga prakriti jair gunai. So the modes of nature which are produced from the prakriti, they are forcing us to perform our work. Karyategi avassaha karma. So that way, we should not try to stop that force. We cannot stop. In fact, we cannot even stop it. That's the point we need to understand. We cannot even stop the Maya forcing us to act. That is not possible. Because we are forced. Because we are just the soul inside this body. We are not the doer. We are just staying inside this body. And we ourselves cannot even stop it. That's what we need to understand. So that force coming from Maya, because Maya forced us to accept this body. Did we stop it? Could we stop it? Ourselves taking birth in this material world. Maya only created this body, these 3 modes of material nature. Our body is created only by these 3 modes of material nature. So, Nibandhanandi Mahabaho Dekhe Dekhinam Avyayam. So, Sattvam Rajas Tama iti Gunaha Prakriti Sambhavaha Nibandhanandi Mahabaho Dekhe Dekhinam Avyayam. So, these 3 modes of material nature, they are binding the soul with the body, inside this body. Nibandhanandi Mahabaho Dekhe Dekhinam Avyayam. Could we stop that? No, we are forced. We are forced to accept birth in this material world, forced to accept this material body. And we are getting old. Can we stop that? Do we have any medicine for that? We are not able to stop ourselves getting old. And we are getting diseased. So many things are happening. It's all getting out of control. So we need to know that everything is under the control of God. God is in control. That's what we need to know. We are trying to lord over this material nature. We are trying to ourselves become lords, gods. So that's why the demons, they say that there is no God in control. This world has no foundation. So this world is not real. Asatyam, apratishtam te, jagat ahu, aniswaram, Aparaspara sambhutam kim manyate kama haitukam. So it came by chance. Aparaspara sambhutam. It was created by chance. What a stupid reasoning. This well is created by chance. This earth is created by chance, and all the living entities, everything what we are living here, everything is created by chance. That is so stupid. So that means they don't have any knowledge. They don't understand. They don't understand. Nothing can be created by chance. If you just accept Krishna, then this option of selecting that created by chance itself won't exist. Because we don't want, the demons don't want to accept the existence of Krishna. That is the main thing. So they don't want. So that way they say that there is no God in control. Jagat Dagugu Aniswaram. So this well was created and there is no God in control. Aniswaram. So, but Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, in the 9th chapter, Krishna is saying that in the 10th sloka, Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. So this entire nature, this material nature, everything is working under my direct supervision. Mayadhyakshena. Mayadhyakshena means under my direct vision, under my direct supervision. So that's what Mayadhyakshena, that is prakriti suyate sacharacharam. So that's what Krishna is teaching. So with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we understand that God is in control. Krishna is in control. So when we submit ourselves to Krishna, when we realize this fact, when we understand this fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and everything is under His control, so He is the source of everything. So if we get this knowledge, if we get this understanding that Krishna is everything, so then everything is fine for us. Then we will do things in the right direction. Then we don't think that we are doing any activity. We will understand. Krishna is giving us this knowledge that everything is done by the 3 modes of material nature. We are not the doer. We are not doing anything. Everything is created. Everything is done by the 3 modes of material nature. We understand that fact. As soon as we realize that we are freed from the modes of nature, actually. If we are able to see, if we are able to feel in our day-to-day activities, in all our activities, in our day-to-day activities, in all our activities, if you are able to feel, if you are able to experience that only the 3 modes of material nature are doing everything. We are not doing anything. So if you are able to feel that, then immediately we are freed from the modes of material nature. So for that, we need to have this knowledge, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Because this Bhagavad Gita knowledge only can elevate ourselves to that kind of consciousness. So we will be able to think clearly. We will be able to, actually with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to see the world as it is. So we need to have this eyes of knowledge, as I explained yesterday, Jnana Chakshusara. So Jnana Chakshusara, Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusara. A person who has got the eyes of knowledge can see things as they are. Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusara. So we should have that eyes of knowledge. That's what this Bhagavad Gita, we are getting. With the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we are able to see things as they are. Otherwise, the fools cannot see how we are quitting one body and getting another body, and how we are enjoying the material sense objects under the control of the modes of nature. All such things. Vimuda nanu pashyanti. Vimuda, a fool. Vimuda nanu pashyanti. A vimuda cannot see that. Whereas a person who has God, who is equipped with the eyes of knowledge, Jnana Chakshusara, he can see that. So Uktramantam Sthitam Vapi Bunjanam Va Gunan Vitham Vimudananu Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. That's what Krishna is teaching. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, our eyes of knowledge is open. We are getting this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. We are understanding what is right, what is wrong, what should we do, what we should not do. Everything we are getting. So by Krishna's causeless mercy. So we should just make use of this knowledge, understand this Bhagavad Gita fully and follow what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So then everything is fine for us. There are no more issues, no more problems. Everything will go good by Krishna's mercy. So that way, in order to get ourselves freed from the three modes of material nature, we should actually get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and understand that everything is carried out by the three modes of material nature, and we should ourselves detach from the results of the activities. That's what we are supposed to do. We should free ourselves. We should not have any attachment. Whatever happens, it happens. So there are totally 5 factors for the success of any activity. Adhishtanam tatha karta karanam cha pratak vidam vividascha pratak cheshta devam chaivatra pancham. So all these 5 factors have to come together for any activity to succeed. We are just only one of that factor, that's it. There too we are controlled by the modes of nature. So that karta is actually the 3 modes of material nature is making us to do everything. So that is the the place of activity, and then the performer, and then the various instruments, and then the various endeavors, different endeavors, and then Devam, Krishna. So these are all the 5 factors for any action to succeed. That's what we need to do. So that way, by Krishna's causeless mercy, we understand this knowledge. So we will fully depend on Krishna. So if that action has to succeed, if Krishna wants, that is definitely going to succeed. If Krishna doesn't want, that action is not going to happen. So for a devotee, he is always successful because he wants what Krishna wants. That's what is very important. A devotee of Krishna wants what Krishna wants. And what Krishna wants will always happen. It will never meet with failure. Whatever Krishna wants, it will happen. So that way we should align our desires, our free will with Krishna's free will. We should submit our free will unto Krishna. So if we do that, then there are no issues, no problems. So when there is a conflict between our interest, our desire and Krishna's desire, so then only we will meet with failure. So then whatever we think, it's not going to happen because it's against Krishna's free will. So how we can ensure that our free will, our desire matches with Krishna's free will, Krishna's desire? Only if we know what Krishna wants from us. Only if we know Krishna's expectations. So then only we can do as per his wish, as per Krishna's wish. So how can we do that? Only by studying Bhagavad Gita, by understanding Bhagavad Gita. So then we know what Krishna is expecting from us, what Krishna wants from us. When Krishna says, Manmana bhavamadbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaisasi, so that means Krishna wants us to remember him. Krishna wants us to become his devotee. Krishna wants us to worship him, offer our obeisances unto him. So Krishna wants us to do everything for him. So we understand. We understand that from Bhagavad Gita. When Krishna says that, Mayarpita mano buddhir mam evaisasi asamsya. You offer your mind and intelligence unto me, you will come to me, there is no doubt about it. That means Krishna wants us to fix our mind upon him, focus our intelligence upon him. So, tasmat sarvesu kalesu mam anusmara duddhya. Always you remember me. So Krishna wants, what Krishna wants us to do? Krishna wants us to do only one thing. Just remember him, that's it. So just remember Krishna. All the time focus our mind onto Krishna. Don't deviate, don't get distracted. So our mind should be all the time 24 by 7. It should be only directed towards Krishna only, nothing else. If that happens, then we are always successful. So then we will, whatever we desire, it is as per Krishna's wish only we will desire. So then we will not meet with any failure. So then we will be freed from the 3 modes of material nature. So this is what Krishna is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita very, very clearly to get out of all these material attachments. That's what. So when we study and understand Bhagavad Gita, that is going to happen because our interests align with Krishna's wish and then we want to please Krishna. Then we want to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day. We want to make prasadam and offer to Krishna, and we want to spread Krishna's message to everyone. So that way, we will become ourselves very, very busy in all the time spreading Krishna's message. That's it. Only we will spread. That's what our goal. Only spread Krishna's message everywhere and become a devotee of Krishna, be a devotee of Krishna, and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and follow all the regulative principles, everything what Krishna says. So that way, if we don't have any attachments to anything in this material world, so we will be completely in Krishna conscious life. So that's what is going to take us to Krishna. That's what is going to help us to free ourselves from this material world. That has to happen. We have to get up. We need to free ourselves from this bondage. It's not at all fun to come back here and suffer. So it's a very serious thing we need to know. We need to understand. This life, this human life, is a very, very great opportunity, and each and every minute, each and every second is very, very important in our life. We need to fully utilize this to completely fix our mind on Krishna and then remember Krishna at the time of death. So then we'll go to Krishna. So in the 13th chapter, now Krishna is teaching us, Krishna gave us very nice example actually to understand how the soul is inside this body. The sloka 33 in the 13th chapter, what we studied yesterday, Krishna is teaching us that Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat akasham nopalipyate sarvatra avastitho dehe tathatma nopalipyate. That's what Krishna is saying, teaching us. So sarvagatam saukshmyat. Saukshmyat means due to its subtle nature. So that's space. The space due to its subtle nature, even though it's pervading everywhere, but it doesn't mix with anything. That's what Krishna is teaching us. That yatha sarvagatam saukshmat akasam nopalipyate. So this akasa, this space is not mixing with anything. So similarly, sarvatra avastito dehi, being situated everywhere inside our body, so pervading this entire body, sarvatra avastito dehi, tatatma nopalipyate. Our atma, the soul is not mixing with the body. So that's what we need to understand. Very simple, very easy. Soul is there inside the body, and soul is there everywhere inside the body, and it doesn't mix with the body. So that's what we need to do. So that way, we should not try to find out what is the size of the soul and what is the color. Soul is beyond matter. So beyond material things. So there is the soul. That's what we need to understand. It cannot be broken into any pieces by any weapon. It cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be dried by wind. It cannot be dissolved by water. That's what. Achedyoyam, adahyoyam, akledyo, asosya yevacha, nityaga sarvagataga sthanuga, achaloyam sanatanaga, avyaktoyam, achintyoyam, avikaryoyam uchyate, tasmadevam viditvainam, nanu sochitam argasi. That's what we already studied all about this in the second chapter itself. So Krishna is teaching us here that the soul is everywhere. Now in the next sloka, Krishna is continuing. The sloka number 34, what Krishna is teaching. Yatha prakashayati ekaha krishnam lokam imam ravihi kshetram kshetri tata krishnam prakashayati bharata. So prakashayati bharata. Yatha prakashayati ekah. So the only one sun, that sun, Krishnam lokam imam ravi, this lokam. Of course, we know that there are several suns, there are several solar systems in this universe. But here for our solar system, the sun which is illuminating everything. So Krishnam lokam imam ravi, this entire world. So it's illuminated by the sun. So similarly, again Krishna is giving us nice example, nice analogy. Very nice example, very, very nice, excellent. So this is very easy to understand. There is no difficulty at all, very, very easy to understand. So yatha prakasayati ekah Krishnam lokam imam ravi, kshetram kshetri tata Krishnam. So tata, similarly kshetri, the soul is actually lighting up everything inside our body. Prakasayati. So it's illuminating. Prakasayati Bharat. So because the soul is there, so the body is there, energetic, illuminating everything, the soul. So when the body is not working, the soul cannot be inside this body. The soul has to leave. So when the soul leaves, there is no consciousness. So that consciousness, that thinking, that I am this, I am that, thinking all those things and all such things. We are making use of this body actually. So everything is because of the soul. The soul is, the consciousness is coming from the soul. That's what we need to understand. That consciousness. Matter doesn't have any, matter is not at all conscious. So the consciousness is coming from the soul. So that's why, O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. So that's why we are conscious of our body. So we are feeling. So we have senses. Our senses are working. And everything is because the soul is there and the soul is pervading this entire body. So it is pervading this entire body. So our consciousness is there everywhere. That's what is very important. So we need to understand. But of course, the soul has to make use of this body only to get that. If somewhere something is, especially this nervous system, the signals are going, all those things, that's how we are getting everything. But everything is happening, everything is working, all these things, because the soul is there here. When the body stops working, then the soul cannot stay here, then the consciousness will not be there. We will not be conscious. So, and even to feel that consciousness, we need to have our body working. That's what is very important. So that's why sometimes we will be unconscious, but still alive. The soul is inside our body. But the problem is that we are not able to access the sensory, we are not able to perceive our senses. So that sensation is not there. That is the problem. So that way, the soul, we are not the body, we are the soul. The soul illuminates this entire body like the sun illuminates this solar system. So we need to understand. And as the sky which is pervading everywhere, it doesn't mix with anything. So similarly, the soul which is pervading this entire body, it doesn't mix with the body. That's what we need to understand. So such a high scientific knowledge, this is the king of knowledge. Krishna is teaching us in this Bhagavad Gita very, very clearly. We need to study and understand. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we will definitely go to Goloka if we study and understand this. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished the sloka number 34 in the 13th chapter. We just have to finish only one more sloka. So that means tomorrow we are going to successfully finish the 13th chapter by Krishna's causeless mercy. Hare Krishna. I will stop now and we'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.